Diabetes does not only affect your blood sugar and your weight, it can also increase your risk of erectile dysfunction. While this issue can be embarrassing, there's more to worry about, because ED is actually one of the earliest warning signs of heart disease. But we've found the foods that are secretly raising your risk of erectile dysfunction and cardiovascular damage, and will also reveal some of the best foods to help you in the bedroom. So you definitely want to know the 8 worst foods that cause erectile dysfunction for diabetics. First up, if you want to protect your penis, you may want to hide the salami. Salami is extremely high in saturated fats and trans fats. These unhealthy fats are linked to heightened levels of LDL cholesterol, the type of cholesterol associated with clogged arteries and increased plaque formation. These fats are also associated with increased insulin resistance, a major risk factor for weight gain and type 2 diabetes. Plus, processed meats contain high amounts of sodium or salt. Excessive sodium intake from processed meats can lead to hypertension or high blood pressure, which is also associated with an increased risk of heart disease and type 2 diabetes. Also, deli meat is an infamous source of preservative nitrates and nitrites, chemicals that have been shown to interfere with the body's ability to produce insulin. That can also increase your risk of ED. Meanwhile, salami and other processed meats may also increase chronic inflammation, which can further raise levels of insulin resistance. And all these side effects can all contribute to erectile dysfunction. But how exactly? Well, these issues can all cause catastrophic damage to your blood vessels. In turn, that can impair your blood flow, and naturally, adequate blood flow is essential for achieving and maintaining an erection. Plus, did you know, diabetes and even prediabetes can lead to diabetic neuropathy, or damage to nerves, including the nerves that control erections. Can you guess which drinks can lead to ED? That's just ahead. First, please do us a favor by supporting our channel. Hit the like button, subscribe to Diabetes Smarts, and don't be shy. Let us know your thoughts on ED and how to avoid it, so please comment below. Next up, let's discuss full-fat milk and cheese. Just like deli meats, full-fat dairy products are notorious for their large quantities of saturated fat. As we already mentioned, eating too much saturated fat can lead to a buildup of cholesterol in the arteries. That can potentially cause atherosclerosis, or hardening and narrowing of arteries, which can impair your blood flow, including blood flow to your penis. Saturated fat can also lead to weight gain and obesity, which can heighten insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. These conditions may create a host of symptoms in your body, including high blood pressure, high blood sugar, excess abdominal fat, and abnormal cholesterol levels, all of which play a role in heightening men's risk for erectile dysfunction. Meanwhile, research now suggests that overdoing your intake of those delicious but fatty dairy products may create hormonal imbalances. In fact, dairy has been shown to influence specific sex hormones, including testosterone, which can impact sexual function. Plus, studies show that diets high in saturated fats, especially from your beloved full-fat dairy favorites, can increase inflammation and oxidative stress, which may further damage your blood vessels while reducing nitric oxide availability. This can prevent the relaxation of muscles and the dilation of blood vessels in your penis, which may make it more difficult for you to achieve an erection. What famous food favorite can easily heighten your risk of ED? That's coming up next. But at this point, you may be wondering, what drinks should I avoid if I want to avoid ED? As it turns out, there are a few, including caffeinated beverages. This ubiquitous chemical energizes us for our long day ahead, and sometimes we feel inclined to top up on extra caffeine in the afternoon. But studies show that overdoing your intake of caffeine can cause short-term spikes in your blood pressure, increasing your risk of hypertension. That can damage your blood vessels, including those that supply blood to your penis. Plus, as a stimulant, caffeine can mess with your sleep, your stress, and your levels of anxiety. Poor sleep quality is directly linked to ED, as sleep deprivation can reduce your levels of testosterone, while increasing your levels of fatigue. And chronic stress and anxiety can also increase your levels of the stress hormone cortisol. In turn, that may further imbalance your levels of testosterone. Meanwhile, did you know? Drinking caffeinated beverages can lead to dehydration. And dehydration has been shown to reduce blood volume and blood circulation, potentially impacting erectile function. Now, what other drinks may raise your risk of ED? Stay tuned, those are just ahead. First, let's take a closer look at another food that is sure to mess with your blood sugar and your sexual prowess: fried foods. This one isn't a shock, is it? Fried foods are notorious for several reasons. Of course, thanks to their high amount of unhealthy fats and calories, they are linked to weight gain and obesity. And due to their breading, fried foods also give you extra carbohydrate content. That's why fried foods are high glycemic and can increase your immediate post-meal blood sugar as well as your long-term insulin resistance. Meanwhile, many fast food chains, where fried foods reign supreme, use saturated and trans fat-laden cooking oils to deep fry their products, which are bad news for your weight management, your heart health, and your blood flow throughout your body, including your penis. We'll tell you more about these oils in a moment. And don't be shocked to learn that fried foods also increase levels of chronic inflammation. As we've mentioned, that can damage blood vessels and impair blood flow to your genitals. In fact, the high heat used in deep frying with vegetable oils can create pro-inflammatory advanced glycation end products, toxic compounds that can damage your cells and tissues. This can further reduce blood flow to your genital region. So, are you now asking yourself this question: which cooking oils are healthy and which should I avoid? We'll answer that question next. But first, here's another drink you may want to cut back on: alcoholic beverages. You may think of this drink as a way to relax and gain confidence, but in the bedroom, it could have the opposite effect. In fact, studies show that high alcohol consumption can lower your testosterone, thus contributing to erectile dysfunction. Research further shows that alcohol can cause damage to your nervous system, including the nerves responsible for sexual arousal and performance. One recent study even found that 72% of men with alcohol dependence are afflicted with sexual dysfunction. And a main danger when it comes to overdoing your alcohol intake is that it can damage several organs, including your pancreas and your liver. Pancreatitis can impair insulin production, thereby raising your risk of diabetes and its many complications, including ED. Liver disease can also negatively impact your glucose regulation and may heighten your insulin resistance. Alcohol abuse can also damage blood vessels, potentially impairing blood flow to your penis. And let's not forget that many alcoholic beverages are loaded with sugar and empty calories, which can increase your weight and your fasting blood sugar, thereby heightening your risk of diabetes and ED. What morning classic should you avoid for better nighttime performance? That's coming up next. First, you may want to rethink how you cook your dinner and avoid sunflower oil and some vegetable oils. Many vegetable oils are extremely high in those omega-6 fatty acids. As we've mentioned, having an imbalance between your levels of omega-3 fats and omega-6 fats can heighten levels of inflammation, which can then lead to other serious health issues, including ED. Some sunflower oil products, especially those that are hydrogenated, contain harmful trans fats, which increase levels of artery-clogging LDL cholesterol. Trans fats also decrease levels of artery-clearing HDL cholesterol, a double whammy for your vascular health. And excessive consumption of unhealthy fats can disrupt your hormone levels, especially your testosterone, which can lead to a reduced libido and erectile dysfunction. Plus, overconsumption of oils high in omega-6 fatty acids may create oxidative stress that can impair your insulin signaling, increasing your risk of type 2 diabetes. Oxidative stress is also a major villain for your veins, as it can lead to endothelial dysfunction or damage to the linings of your blood vessels. This decreases the production of nitric oxide, a molecule which is meant to help your blood vessels relax and dilate. Naturally, endothelial dysfunction and reduced nitric oxide will impair blood flow to your penis and may heighten your risk of ED. What may be the one food that most raises your risk of ED? The answer will be revealed in just a sec. First, let's take a look at this major diabetes villain: breakfast pastries and sugary treats. It's no secret, overconsuming white flour breads and pastries can significantly increase your risk of developing type 2 diabetes and its many related issues, including heart disease. That means that your favorite breakfast sweet treat could lead to nighttime problems in bed. White flour breads, pastries, and other simple sugar foods are made from highly refined carbohydrates, which supply a ton of calories and carbs, but little to no fiber. Thus, these foods are typically high glycemic index and can easily cause you to experience a rapid spike in your blood sugar. Over time, frequent consumption of these foods can wreak havoc on your glucose control, your weight, your nerves, your cardiovascular system, and blood flow to your penis. Plus, like other foods on this list, overconsumption of refined carbohydrate foods, like pastries and other white bread products, can increase inflammation, oxidative stress, and hormonal imbalances in your body, thereby heightening your risk for both diabetes and erectile dysfunction. On top of all that, these sugar-spiking foods are notorious for their lack of essential nutrients and fiber. This deficiency further contributes to poor blood sugar control and an increased risk of diabetes and ED. But if you're worried about ED, don't let these foods get you down. We'll show you a few excellent alternatives that can help you fight back against high blood sugar and erectile dysfunction. That's just ahead. Now it's time to meet possibly the worst food offender when it comes to increasing your risk of diabetes and ED: potato chips and salty snacks. Is it any wonder that the foods many doctors cite as the most harmful food for diabetics is also one of the major food culprits for erectile dysfunction? The main problem with potato chips and salty snacks is just that: their salt, or sodium content. Studies show that overdoing your sodium intake can dramatically increase your risk of hypertension, that major risk factor for blood vessel damage, reduced blood flow, and ED. But these snacks are also loaded with unhealthy saturated and trans fats, and many of these products are made from glucose-spiking refined carbohydrates. This is just another way for these foods to increase your insulin resistance, your weight, and your risk of developing ED. And to make matters even worse, high-salt snacks are infamous for their ability to heighten your levels of chronic inflammation. This condition increases your chances of developing type 2 diabetes, along with nerve and blood vessel damage, all contributing factors for erectile dysfunction. So now you know which 8 foods you should mostly avoid for your heart, your blood sugar, and your virility. But what are some of the best foods to reduce your risk of ED? Stay tuned to Diabetes Smarts. We'll delve deeper into this topic soon. For now, here are some highly nutritious, glucose-stabilizing, anti-inflammatory food alternatives. Instead of sunflower oil, cook with olive oil. Did you know? A recent study found that men who consumed 9 tablespoons of olive oil per week reduced their risk of developing ED by 40%. For your next pesto sauce, forego high salt, high saturated fat cheese, and blitz up some unsalted cashews as a tasty cheese replacement ingredient. Ditch processed meats in favor of lean meats, like skinless chicken breast, and fatty fish, like salmon and tuna. And forget those high sugar, high salt, high carb snacks. Instead, choose nature's candy with fiber-rich, whole, fresh fruits and antioxidant-rich berries.